What's up, friends? Hello, hello. Welcome to a special weekend broadcast. I know I don't normally stream on the weekends, but it's the final day of regular season for FACEIT League. We've got one match. We have one match remaining here in EMEA Master Division, and it's bound to be a good one. You have got very simple what we've got happening here. You can see all 15 just down the board, except right here in the dead center as they fight for this 8th place slot. It's Hypnos taking on TFW. Winner gets the 8th seed and the slot in playoffs. Hypnos coming in 7-7, TFW 6-8. If TFW win, both teams end up 7-8, and TFW will have the head-to-head record for the tiebreaker. So they would steal away this 7th slot. This is all coming on the back of Hypnos dropping a very unexpected series to Pytel. Pytel may not have had a winning record this year, or this season here in Season 6, but they're still able to come out and upset some teams and put up a big jump against Hypnos. Kind of playing spoiler to them a little bit, making everybody sweat and giving us this giga banger here on this lovely Sunday at the end of the season. I am going to be joined by Spectrion.
Oh, what's up?
Hello, hello. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good. I've just finished doing some society bits and bobs, so I'm glad I got that sorted.
Let's go.
For esports society at my uni.
Right.
And now, good game. I'm bloody excited.
Now it's time for some esports. Like it seems to fit. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, this should be a really good one. I was like, we should all buy Pytel a Coke for giving us this giga banger at the end of the season.
True, actually. I can't promise all of Pytel one, but Cheeseburger at least. He'll get a beer or something.
There you go. Yeah, you give Pytel or get Cheeseburger a beer on me.
Yeah, will do.
Now, I kind of already laid out the stakes. It's pretty simple, right? I mean, final match of the season. Winner takes 8th place. Winner gets a spot in playoffs. What are your thoughts on past that? On the matchup of these two teams? What are your thoughts on these two teams? What are your thoughts on these seasons? What do you want to talk about here, Spec? I feel like there's a lot of directions we could go with this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've spent a lot more time with Pytel, generally speaking, this season. Oh, not Pytel, sorry, stuck in my head now. Hypnos this season.
Right.
I think they've had a really interesting trajectory, being an expert team, right, who's qualified, who's made it this far, who are one game away from being the first expert team to qualify into that playoffs. They've been changing a lot recently. I can tell you behind the scenes, they've been really struggling with pressure they've been putting on themselves. And so the coaching staff have been mostly talking not about in-game stuff, but mostly about just making sure the environment is healthy, right? That's why they kind of brought back Shull, who's a great friend to a lot of the team. That's why Yukino hangs around. Again, he's a funny guy, he's a chill guy. And so that's the main thing. Hypnos can be a fantastic team if they're happy when they're playing. And I think for the F word, there's a little bit less of that mentality aspect. Of course, it's still so important, but they're more focused on just performing on the day.
And of course, this is a rematch of our grand finals from Expert from Season 5 as well. So, I mean, TFW also, graduating class here coming into this season. Tartanbos, who mentioned this in chat. But it's kind of wild to think about, your Expert grand finals is then the playoff qualification match, for Master Division. That speaks volumes, I think, about both of these teams, to be honest. Obviously, there's been a little bit of controversy from the TFW side, but I think a lot of it is, I think Sleek has carried a lot on this team. If TFW are going to make it into the slot, if they are going to take this win today, a lot of it is going to have to be on the back of Sleek having a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a fantastic player in this meta, especially having somebody who can just absolutely click heads is so much easier than playing super extended neutrals with Zarya Reaper, hoping nobody in your team just falls over, right? So that could be rough. That could be a really unfortunate one. So if you've got Sleek to bail you out of some of those scenarios, it makes it a hell of a lot easier. I think if I had to zoom in on any player from the other side, from Hypnos, I would probably point out Tricky, who obviously this FDPS turn hit scan, who's been really strong for them all throughout this run. I think the hero pool thing, though, being that X FDPS is going to be what's really important here, because Hypnos, if they want to play, for example, a Reaper Tracer composition, are going to have a much easier time of things than a couple of other teams, in fact, and that could be a boon that gets them over the edge.
I honestly didn't realize Tricky was previously a Flex DPS player.
So I can tell you, obviously, Prash has officially joined the team now. I think he's been on the team for the previous two or 3 weeks, but he's been working behind the scenes, now an official member. I'll firstly say he's been doing some top-notch coaching. I've been lurking in on the channels, and he's been doing some good stuff. I asked, by the way, Hypnos about their mentality as well heading into this.
Okay.
And they're being relatively confident, but again, they're stressing mentality. They're saying even if we go behind, we know we can reverse if we need to. We know we absolutely can do it. They just have to actually figure it out on the day. Focus on the now.
We're gonna get TFW, who gets our first map pick. So they will get the Oasis pick. Of course, that'll give Hypnos first ban coming into this. I don't know that I've seen TFW with Depsy, right? Isn't Depsy newer to towards roster lock side of this season?
Yeah, I think so. Road Talk ban coming out, by the way.
I see that.
It makes sense. I know we've seen Luna's Hog. I wouldn't describe it as inspirational. Much for Depsy's cup of tea. And so I think this one makes sense. The hero's just annoying right now.
We've seen Lunar post about the 007 Roadhog, and we've also seen Lunar have some success with the Roadhog on the stream. So, there's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Could go either way. But yeah, apparently they do not want to play it here. Don't blame them.
Tracer, the other band, by the way, coming through from TFW. I mean, considering you're playing into a team that can do double flex stuff if they want, and considering we kind of expect Untoos League to be probably running more mono hit scan setups, as I recall, then I think this makes sense. Tracer, means you have to do either Genji, Venture, probably Genji, Venture, Reaper, those kind of looks instead, which just isn't the same. So we're gonna start building more cities like this. That'd be nice. Imagine, crazy. Imagine you go to Seattle or something. It looks like this instead of whatever the hell Seattle looks like nowadays. I say nowadays, like I've ever even been to the States.
No, but you run like commercial and semis and stuff are on the underneath, and then up top is your average Joe, your average spec.
Indeed.
I like the new pose.
Yeah. Okay, what we see. Sim, the TP, Fista on the Venture, no surprises. And Soj out for Sleek makes perfect sense. NRG actually going to be Parma on the Symmetra, so you can go for plenty of map blitz with that. Look for seeing mostly Luna just be catapulted onto the backline more than anything else.
Get the classic high ground versus stairs side. Fista taking a very slow rotation. Doesn't even go all the way on the outside. It kind of moves in to contest on the point. And it's just going to be the anchor in lieu of Depsy staying on the high ground. There's the engage. We're going right up at the teleporter. NRG just gets melted. That is why Depsy stayed on the high ground. Wise move sitting Fista down low. And you kept the Zarya there for that peel. Now the 5v4 taken down into the pillar in the middle. We're getting up close and personal. Oh, and the right click will do Lunar in. What a good first fight here for Depsy and TFW.
And you got a high charge Zarya, and you're not able to get onto the background, so you're going to get beamed down. Listen, I know Luna had a lot of success on that Ramatcha, but the hero's just not good anymore. His hit win rate in DM at one point was 35%. And so we see an instant swap over to the Winston. It's a much stronger pick, but you do have something of an anti-synergy with your Sim.
Let's see how they're gonna choose to engage here. But what is the approach? Lunar looking to work the high ground clearly. Just immediately drill dash off. It was just Fista up there. There's not much to be gained. So Lunar goes, oh, that is a dangerous, just huge feed into the back line. The teleporter was a touch late. Nobody gets in with Lunar. It just turns into a 1v5. Looked a little disheveled there on that one.
I get the idea. Trying to soft pressure backline using a bubble for safety. When you're playing into both Venture and Lucio, the amount of displacement they have is crazy. You have to be aware of them at all times because, as we saw, Luna just double booped through bubble into 5 people and has his HP evaporated. Obviously, ult lead for TFW, probably looking to start with Kitsune or Graviton Surge, depending on if Depsy gets his ult in time. Horrocks needs his sound barrier to have a response, otherwise Hypnos could take a rather ignominious end to this fight.
Quick swift step out. It's gonna be the Kitsune in. Will be enough to protect against the grab. Sound barrier does get in time from Horrocks. But now Bosun Point ults have been used. Fist responds with the Tectonic. Good pick from Envy. They needed that to really start leveraging this. Livy's gonna deliver. Envy delivers 2 in this fight.
The thing about Envy, some of the best mechanics you'll see on, I mean, a flexible player, at least this side of FACEIT Masters,
That's 4.
ends with a 4-piece. Yeah, great shooting from her. In previous times we've cast, I've mentioned that they've often struggled with staying alive because they're trying to force so much value, but this time, I mean, we see the results of such an aggressive playstyle. 4 kills, flip in favor of Hypnos and an aggressive OC.
Try counter by an Unto sound barrier, which we see a, wait a minute, Unto's on Lucio in chat. Yeah, it's like, I know, I was, yep. Primal Rage out of Looter and good, just kind of, layering of ultimates. But as soon as those ultimates are done, Horrocks finds themselves in sleek sightlines. Photon barrier up. Takes a little swift step in. I imagine a slow approach to wait out this barrier. We're gonna get the Kitsune Rush engage. Sleek low towards jump pad side, but has managed to swing very far wide. That's a great sightline onto that backline. Fist is gonna join in on that. Lunar not being able to peel in time. Great map control here out of TFW. Job's still not done though. You still have 86% on the board and counting. Horrocks trades? Yeah.
You really have to live here if you're a Hypnos. You can have a touch, but if you end up hemorrhaging any frags now, you basically won't. You'll be going to final fight with maybe just your Winston. Horrocks, OT started.
Horrocks is able to get in and out. 80% towards that sound barrier. Ooh, drill dash pushes Lunar out of the bubble. They're able to jump back up towards the high ground. Depsy is able to melt through NRG though. Right click lands. Bubble's there to protect Fist. Fist responds with their own ultimate. The Burrow try to finish off Tricky. Unto it does it. And a good hold. TFW will start with a win on City Center.
I mean, great start there from TFW. I think really catching Hypnos on the back foot when they ran out on that Ramattra. The Zarya really just ruined their day. It was pretty close at times once Hypnos did find their footing a little bit, so maybe they're warmed up now. Starting on the Winston, they can make it work a little bit better. I think in that final fight, if Envy has that Kitsune Rush 5% earlier, then they could probably end up winning that fight, right? You just need the little bit of extra added value, but unfortunately, the damage was kind of already done by the time it was out, and so they do just end up losing that fight. Now, 1-0, comp's going to be actually reset to the beginning. Luna really wants to try this Ram.
And, I mean, did get a little bit of armor returned to the Nemesis form here in the mid-season patch, but I mean very little. I don't believe it was enough to overcome where the meta is currently sitting. Will be used to just bum rush the high ground. Love the teleport position, trying to intercept the disengage, and it is sloppy disengage from TFW. Will get punished. They were not ready for that fast-paced assault. And you know what? Oh, Tricky's gonna lose that duel up top. Sleek is gonna fight too. We talked about it. Sleek having a good day could just spoil Hypnos' run here, but 3v3 left on the point. Still nobody has cap.
Yeah, Envy being alive is so valuable here. And considering you've got the later kills, if you're Hypnos, your spawns are technically closer. As long as Envy doesn't go down to this Lucio pressure, and of course they won't, then it should be a fight win in favor of Hypnos, but they actually give over first cap.
It did. That was surprises me. Luna was still alive. So 10% there for TFW. That should have very well been Hypnos. Hypnos' percentage. Absolutely stolen. Drill Dasher recame hallways side. Pixels does get this Kitsune Rush down into the fight as well. Drill Dash up top. NRG able to get the teleporter down. We did have a Kitsune Rush to help protect this hallway side, and now a Photon Barrier up as well. Whole right side of the map belongs to Hypnos. Lunar's going to extend past that to see if they can claim the rest. Claims Depsy, that's for sure.
It's really awkward. I saw Pixels miss the cleanse onto Depsy. Maybe would have survived with that ability connected, but dies 95 to the grab, obviously resetting that Zarya energy. Fista, late death as well. Tricky's Railgun finds its mark. 40%. On the side of Hypnos, a much better fight so far than we've already been seeing. This Annihilation is bold, it's brash, and it's catching TFW. Well, mid-rotation. They're sent back to spawn, and we've already eclipsing where we were previously. That being said, we've spent some of our big check marks already. We kitsued in that first fight. We used Wool and Annihilation here. And TFW are walking into this with basically everything, as well as Sleek on a new look Ash. Does help with the poke, but also a target if Luna wants to get aggro.
Dempsey drops down in the middle, but the grab, then to circle back around. Good Suzu is going to be enough. Pixels will get one. Late right click finds the all-important pick onto the Kiriko as well. So, despite losing Unto early, Dempsey is able to counter punch with that rotation and catch that grab onto the wall. What an interesting play. It works out for him, though.
Yeah, I mean, the grab was pristine. Horrocks actually misses the beat, though, so he doesn't end up connecting it into mostly people in jeopardy, I believe. Makes it a hell of a lot harder, because, again, they didn't spend too heavily, did the now defenders. They've got both support ults to use however they want, and though Envy can match out the Kitsune Rush, they are going to be hurting for the lack of sustainability that they do to Hypnos.
Tricky just got taken out of OC with that bum rush assault. But, I mean, really a catch of the aggression there. The assault got foiled by Fista. Tried to get a teleport overclock play there out of Hypnos. And, I mean, what a good read there out of Fista to kind of catch the aggression.
I think it was mostly Sleek, actually, who came up with the absolutely humongous coach gun there to create so much separation. They tried to rush through anyway, but the split ended with Tricky being so much more far forward than Envy. Couldn't receive the healing, and because of that, we're getting close to tying here, actually. This is Hypnos' last good attempt to maintain the lead.
We got a Kitsune Rush to work with. Bob is going to protect that right-hand side. Slake with a big Dynamite's going to get the Suzu out early. This is not ideal, but with enough time left, Hypnos slows the approach and is going to rotate towards hallway. You got to consider it. You're going to go high ground with it. Yes, you are going to go high ground with it. This will force the drop from Dempsey. Eventually. Sound Barrier does not catch with the Zarya, importantly. And here comes the rundown. Horks gets popped trying to go find that kill. This is able to peel. Envy gets out with literal one. There's the chase in. Fist is able to find that kill, but not before Luna gets a little health. Not enough. Not enough love in the world. Vista finds 3. TFW find the 1-0 lead.
A great start here from Hypnos, but unfortunately they kind of just bottle it at the end. A couple of poor fights. Maybe it's a bit of that nerves creeping in that we spoke about earlier. And listen, it's great that they safely disengage the ball. That is pristine. You go for the right side wrap, you hit some point. This is all great, but Tricky just gets picked. It's as simple as that. You kind of need your Soja to find value from the Kitsu, especially as it's so easily kiteable, and Horrocks booped in by the Venture as well means that it's a 3v5 with positional advantage. I mean, it's simply not worth it. End up getting taken down, and obviously it's map 1 to TFW.
With the Ramatra, what are we thinking about this Ramatra? Ramatra is not a hero anybody is playing right now. And actually, I'm not even sure if the Ramatra pick was really a big, I don't even know if that was the big turning point of that. I feel like we just saw.
Hate it.
Yeah, it's like I actually didn't hate it. I felt like if the play had been tighter, the Ramatra would have actually worked. But it was just a little bit sloppy play that I think was really the folly there, more than the composition. Coincidentally enough.
I think that the Ram wasn't bad. I think it contributed towards some of the fights that they lost, but not. I think in the end it kind of worked to put the pressure on the Zarya. If they think the game plan is just hard abuse Dempsey, it's probably one of the best choices. You know, I feel like you could make do with something else as well. With a
Maga and Orisa, do you get the kill onto Dempsey? Like the beat where the beat comes in and misses Dempsey, and you're trying to run down the Zarya, and you don't claim that kill. That was such an important team fight. Like, does another tank get that kill?
Maybe is all we can really say, right?
Right.
I think if you are Hypnos, first things first, you probably should go towards something where Luna can abuse his hero pool. So go towards like a Watchpoint Gibraltar, for example, ban like a Diva. It will suck playing into the Hog, but you can still get away with an Ana if you want. It's not Envy's favorite, but it's still going to work. And just really try and play around the mobility. Obviously, we do have our bans already through. So it's going to be Suravasa, Zarya, and Sim ban. So Energy will be allowed to go Tracer, probably. Zarya is probably going to put Depsy onto, like I mentioned, a Diva or a Hog, depending if he has that in his pool.
Well, won't take us long to find out.
Indeed.
Whoops. Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for you. I gotta get the camera in a better spot than that before I send y'all in.
Maybe.
What's that?
Power said warm-up map Hypnos got this. Maybe.
We've heard that before.
Because it was pretty close. As Pot Noodle would say, perk farming rounds. I mean, they're all reset now, so I'm not sure it counts the same.
Ready for battle.
Get you some gambas from map 2.
Prince said a sim that map goes differently. I don't disagree. I didn't see the sim exploited that much, but I also didn't see her do a lot. So I kind of have to agree with you on that one, Nyx. It just feels like there are higher value heroes. NRG is going to be on one of them right now as the Tracer is locked in. Luna actually going to be on the Hog Mirror versus Depsy. So it low-key doesn't matter what 4 players in the server are going to do. Whoever hits a hook first is the one who's going to win the fight very often.
I'm curious to see, do we see the Hogs try to swing, play off point, or do we see them anchor? You can see immediately a rotation is Hypnos want to circle around towards stair side or towards main. Stair side approach. Depsy is the one playing on point, and it just runs in. Everybody just collapse onto Lunar. Lunar ends up by themselves, the base of those stairs, and then 1v3, and kind of puts themselves into a bad mismatch right out of the gate. And TFW grab first cap.
Yeah, really shouldn't be starting outside basically ever on Hog because of that exact reason. You can get run over, and Hog doesn't do well against it, even if it's in a Hog v Hog, right? I mean, we saw that. No one was really shooting the walk up. NRG and Tricky didn't have great angles. Envy and Horrocks could do essentially nothing. And so I'm not even sure Luna got cleansed. He's back up to the starting block here, but he needs to do better than that.
Power saying in chat, just as I'm talking about nobody playing Ram, Tama and Team Vision locked the Ram in their OWCS match just right now. Hey, maybe it's something where they're seeing in scrims. Maybe it's the counter to this. You know, I don't know, but all right. Hey, you know, Tama also another one of those up and comers. Tama can do what Tama wants. Lunar does not hit that hook. Drop down, and Depsy gets the angle. The Suzu's there to help protect, and this is just an awkward staring contest from our Roadhogs at the moment. Sleek toss at a bolo shot. See if they can find kill. Gets Horrocks. I'm not sure if it was with the ult or not. Unclear on that. Still, what is clear is a fight win here from TFW. A late trade from Lunar. I think just more for the morale than anything, as it's the only kill notes. One of 2 kills on the board here for Hypnos, both onto Sleek.
Indeed. I mean, at the end of the day, Luna's play would make sense if he was hitting hooks. That's the thing with Roadhog, right? We can talk about the gameplay all you want, where you're standing, how you're trying to look for hooks, but if you actually don't hit them, it doesn't matter what you do. And taking a lot of damage early on in the pre-fight is a Kitsune Rush, probably going to be mirrored out. It seems like Hypnos just wants a pull.
Oh, and they wait till Horrocks is dead. Sleek is going to find Tricky as well. So Sleek just having an exceptional... I'll say you don't have that bonus one anymore.
I don't see the vision. I have to say, I really don't see the vision there from Hypnos. We don't mirror the Kitsu. We pull back a little bit, and then late Kitsu, whilst the Freya has lines on us, and we're not doing any damage to her. It was going to be a fight win anyway, most likely, just a much more expensive one because they chose to invest. I'm not sure.
There's all the worst possible outcomes for Hypnos. Brox manages to survive there. That would have been another bad one. You still see Sleek trying to get the Lucio down. Luna's already fallen. Tricky trying to save this with an overclock. Not sure this fight can be salvaged. The Susie will protect with a hook, and a low Depsy gets finished off. Maybe Envy and Tricky have the skills to pay the bills. They're going to push on to this point with a sound barrier. Find very low fisted towards the outside of the objective. Oh, still, this is able to survive. Does have the tectonic shock. Loop back around. Drill dash in. Horrocks at 1 health or half health. Not going to follow. Still. Oh!
Cancel!
The tectonic goes by the wayside, and Hypnos get control of the point.
Huge there. I mean, I was going to critique this kind of instinct from Hypnos to try and clutch out the fight, but ultimately it gets no flip, so you can't hate it too much. Kitsu versus Whole Hog Bowler. You do have to go early here. If Pixels has a chance to finish a Kitsu of their own, then you are just going to get out-ulted.
That's going to be a hook from Lunar, and there is the early Kitsu to try to capitalize because the hook was on to Depsy. Depsy is a disengaging Whole Hog just to devalue that Kitsune Rush. You know what? Not the worst idea. I can see the vision on that. Pixel's been able to build up towards their own. Now we're going to get the slingshot counterpunch. Beautiful shot to find Horrocks. My goodness. One Lunar, yeah, found by Fista. And TFW able to counterpunch beautifully. This will be enough to take the 2-0 lead on the map.
The idea is nice, but it's find a hook Kitsu to punish it, but you need to actually find the punish. And I don't care if it's a hog with 700 HP, vape, with damage reduction, you need to get that kill. It's as simple as that. If you don't, then it ends up cutting your entire plan in half. Now down 2-0 Hypnos. They will be crashing out of their chances of qualifying to FACEIT Master Season 6 playoffs.
Moment to breathe. Maybe this is what Hypnos needs. Cooler heads prevail. Let's see how they handle this Kitsune. NRG taking an up-close duel there against Sleek's side. Swift step over from Sleek. Oh, Lunar doesn't quite find that. Wanted that pick so bad, couldn't quite lock it in. Find the hook. Ooh! I think that just kissed the nose of Depsy. Doesn't quite connect. Lunar try to push in. Ooh, the swing will pick up Fista. That's the opener Hypnos have been looking for 3 objectives now. Whole Hog in the pocket. Couple of headshots. Land sound barrier will save Depsy at the final moment. And then Whole Hog comes out, pushes Depsy all the way off this objective. Huntu, you know, you get off this point as well.
They are still outside of the point, so I'd love to see an exit frag here from Hypnos. They can't go too aggro for it. If there's a trade here, then all those ults they throw in, all that's good work would be undone. The hook onto Luna makes it awkward.
Kitsune Rush to save them. It manages to do so, but a beautiful disengage from TFW is going to really devalue that. Pixel's about 30% away from their own. The hook off the side. Oh! And it didn't quite have a boop there. Whole Hog now in play from Depsy. Yankee Lunar right back in, but took a lot of damage. Not able to finish off that kill. Tricky, I believe, just saved Lunar's life with a good headshot. And this fight has gotten incredibly awkward. It's back and forth to try to find a leverage, try to find an advantage, and Depsy might have just delivered it.
Yeah, I think that might be it. 60% does mean you have a decent chance at a recontest if you're Hypnos, but this is it. This is your last chance to make something happen on Suravasa, else your attempt at the Hog Mirror would have ended in, I mean, crushing failure, unfortunately. Ult disadvantage as well. You need to probably slow play until Tricky gets the OC and then go nuts, but Luna's insta-dead!
There's not enough time. There's not enough time to back away. 87%. You can see Horrocks has to make a move, has to try to stay alive long enough. Touch within this time frame. I don't know if they're going to get his NRG on the point. NRG is the one to initiate the OT. They leave the Lucio back with the ball. Depsy's hook has already been used. We have a couple of ults to contend with. It's going to be Pixels throwing into this Kitsune Rush right on the objective. Tricky gets the OC canceled. Nothing left here for Hypnos to work with. Simply run out of gas, have run out of tools. Run out of time. This is going to be a 2-0 match point lead for TFW.
I mean, if map 1 was pretty close, but no cigar, this was, I mean, it was a spanking, essentially, right? TFW rock up and absolutely rock Hypnos' world. Depsy finds so much more value on the Roadhog than Luna. I know we were memeing about it in chat earlier, but I mean, it feels like it's coming up again. He's just not hitting hooks. And so we're finding no value, and so it's going to have to be the reverse sweep for Hypnos to make it to playoffs. They said before they felt they could do it. They're gonna have to prove it to us now.
What a performance from Sleek. My goodness.
He's doing bits. That that Freya double kill is actually ridiculous.
That was ridiculous.
Like, I get they're pulling, but like, still.
The prediction on Horrocks coming back around the corner for that second aim bolt. That was nuts.
Some really nice ones.
That was nuts. It's gonna be a circuit pick and adventure ban here out of Hypnos. Let's see if they can start this reverse sweep spec. Let's look and see. Does Sleek lead in damage? Oh yeah, you betcha. 10k damage for Sleek in map 2, 12 and 2 there on Suravasa.
Yeah, I feel like circuit ban or circuit pick, venture ban makes sense. Venture's annoying if you want to do sim stuff, which they probably do, given what energy generally likes to bring to the table, Genji. Or just try and force like a bit of an asymmetric tank trade. That appears to be where they got the lead. A lot of options here actually, just depends on what they are thinking specifically.
I think if I'm Hypnos, I gotta find a way to get tricky in this game. Like, I think your option needs to be whatever you need to get the resources into Tricky and get Tricky to quiet Sleek. I think that has to be the game. We know Tricky's capable of that. Yeah, the hog mirror didn't cut it, right? And I think if you instead of trying to, perhaps lean into the tank for that matchup, lean into your Soj for that matchup. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Like, how do you approach it? If I'm the coach of Hypnos, how do I respond? If I'm Fudgy, how do I respond to this?
I mean, there's two reasons somebody isn't shooting. They aren't being given the resources. Like, they're actually just, like, playing wrong. Or they're literally just, like, missing shots because they feel bad. So you've either got to speak about if Tricky is, like, not all there in comms, perhaps. Because to me, it's my eye test. It looks like Tricky is super disconnected a lot of the time from one of the supports. Either Envy or Horrocks should be helping your hit scan 2 off angle. And to me, it looks like Tricky just kind of hard flanks sometimes. Like I said, used to be an FDPS. Sometimes it can lead to people just getting creative when they feel like it. And maybe that's not the idea here. So if I just rein Tricky's flanking instinct in a little bit, or tell one of the supports to be, best buddy tied at the hip to him, so he's always got that help to do what he wants.
Why do you apologize so much?
I actually like this comp we're seeing from both sides, actually. Very classic. With the Mei, you have a bit more ability to punish tank. Your poke phase is slightly less comfortable with the sim. You're perfectly happy frontlining. You can actually break the Mei pretty fast, and you have the ability to flip onto the backline, but you're mostly going for solo stuff. So I think both teams have gone for pretty nice ideas. I will say Sleek is going to be incredibly annoying with those Hanzo logs. We've seen the value that Hanzo can provide before, and could well do so again to knock Hypnos out of this tournament.
Get the Horrocks Freya. Right now forcing Depsy back. A lot of poke damage, in this with the not Freya, but the Ayari. With the Ayari BAP comp. And I'm kind of loving the fact that we've gotten more into the poke situation now. We're back into a poke meta on Circuit Royale. Teleporter does close this gap and force Depsy back. They do make it back to good corner, it looks like. Despite kind of towing the line on that, little limit testing, I think, from that defense. They didn't get back there as quick as I probably would have liked, but hey, they make it back safely.
Yeah, that they do. We'll say Luna significant lead on Flux right now. That could be a factor later on, especially as he hits a perfect rock.
Oh,
we see wall connected,
too.
not broken in time, but enough to allow Luna to escape. And so this back and forth is going to continue, still with a bit of a lead here for Hypnos.
I didn't get. Y'all ban stream. I'm sorry. It's a Lucio ban there from TFW. So I'll get that plugged in once this team fights. So I don't want to miss anything here. And Matrix countered by an enormous gravitic flux. That's gonna get out Immortality Field. I don't even know if that's gonna be enough. Depsy will still fall, and even with that great defensive wall to momentarily stop Lunar's approach, the assault continues, and a good fight win from Hypnos. One of the best engagements we've seen them all day long so far.
I mean, that Flux was just ginormous, right?
Yeah.
Catching 4. And even though it doesn't find any final blows, I mean, you saw what their HP was, even protected by that lamp. They are dead men walking, and Hypnos able to take this space really effectively now. Obviously, the Flux is a problem for Depsy to have, so some pressure on Serena to hit the rock Envy to find a high value lamp, but you've got to still think with 4 ultimates they can make something happen.
Depsy's gonna open it up, dodges the rock. You could have heard it fly by right as I went to the POV. Able to collapse it all Lunar, but Envy had an Ant Matrix there. Oh, an NRG, really the POV I should have gone to. Captain Sun is able to hit one. Untu's trying to respond. It's an air duel from Horrocks and Untu. Horrocks wins it out. Also got the sunspot onto Depsy, which resulted in a kill on the tank. Good fight there from Horrocks, who I don't normally think is being an aimer here.
Horrocks doesn't have bad mechanics, I will say. And not just from this, but in general, he's got something about him for a player of his age, of his experience.
Well, as a main support player too, right? You don't think of your main support player as usually being an aimer.
So now Hypnos able to still keep an additional ultimate through onto the third point, and a 5-minute time bank means that it appears like Circuit Royale apparently is their man.
This is a lot of momentum, and certainly the best Hypnos have looked all day. OC to try to break this one open. Depsy is going to make the swap into the Ramattra of all things. Playing way up close on this corner. I don't know if there's enough backup there. The Symmetra is going to get above. NRG now able to just run sleek and the supports away. Immortality Field to try to get Depsy back to that next corner. Successfully does so. Lunar has to throw up the kinetic grasp, protect themselves. Swap over to a Genji. We get our first Genji of the day. Oh, and NRG gets caught flat-footed. And the defense able to finally stabilize for the first time on circuit.
Yeah, I quite like the Genji here. I think it's way easier to find value than on the mains, being precise. Horrocks is staggering himself, and the same could be said from Luna. What are we fluxing, my man? Okay, you need to secure this solo kill. You don't do that, then we've got negative value, and we might be trolling. So, Hypnos in a really weird position, as what Depsy said as well? What's happening?
But, you know, you got double DPS ults. Okay. That was something. Depsy also used Annihilation right before they went down. We had Bob, Belay, both invested into that. Obviously, the awkward Gravitic Flux. You do still save 2 good engagement tools if you're Hypnos. You got Captive Sun and Amp Matrix to work with.
Yeah, it's up ultimates for them as they look to get involved. Great rock onto Vista, but it's going to force them to put resources. Tricky though, mechanical kill onto Sleek. Should be the end of it, to be honest, unless somebody gets really out of position for Hypnos.
Yeah, Depsy's just going to run onto the cart. Requires Immortality Field. I can't believe Depsy's still alive here, to be perfectly honest. Photon Barrier thought about it, decided against it.
I mean, with Depsy living this long, remember this is nerf Ram. He was worse before that. I think we're gonna be talking about that patch of the game for a while. With was it 3,200 effective HP? That was Lord of mercy. Listen, point is 2.5 minutes on the clock. Coming to final approach here. Tricky with an OC as the main tool and NRG wall to separate him from his opponents. Great position to finish now if you're Hypnos.
Pixel slows the fight with this Amp Matrix. The Photon Barrier, though, seems to have really devalued it still. Hypnos, okay. We're waiting for a teleport. We're going to send some people to high ground. What's our split? This is all 5 up to the high ground. Tricky drops the OC. Play it off the balcony. Going to be greeted by Depsy and the Nemesis Swarm. No match for this overclock. Not even with an orbital does this defense stand a chance. Pixels is able to trade 1. This cart is far enough back. Mike gets spawns. There's the group spawn. Fista, Untu, Depsy are coming back into this. We're going to get another fight. Rox is able to find Pixels early. It's just going to be Untu to heal the remaining defensive players. Lunar already picked off Slig. Not looking good for TFW to try to stop this cart, particularly with Lunar now is just going to slam Depsy right back into the spawn. And we're going to get a $130, $132 on the clock. 3 points on the board and a comprehensive attack here out of Hypnos.
Much better. I mean, this and Suravasa is night and day, right? We were talking about what it takes to get Tricky activated. It's just turned the entire map into aim labs, right? I mean, not having to really think about angles, not really having to think about specifically what peaks to take, and kind of just swinging main with Sig Shield. Inshallah, you kill somebody. It's working out so much better for him. So it's allowed to basically just rock up and shoot TFW into their head until they fall over, right? And so working so much better for them. 1.5 minutes on this map is not unheard of, but it's pretty bloody good. And so they put themselves now in pole position to complete Circuit Royale and bring themselves a 2-2-1 in this series, getting that reverse sweep started. Of course, they've got to actually complete it first, and Depsy has decided maybe Zarya is the play here, but I've got to say, this combo on the defense is even more effective, and so I think Hypnos in a really good position right now.
Tricky 16-1. Sleek 5-5.
By the way, Luna at 8k damage is just like a stupid number. It's a ridiculous number.
It's wild. That is wild. I would fully expect Tricky to have damage lead, especially, I mean, with that, you know, that 6.7k would normally be plenty for damage lead, and that's not uncommon for your hit scan to have it on this map, in the poke meta. But yeah, Lunar, you can, you know, we went to one of those pods where Lunar just gets the triple kill. It was when they were transitioning from point A to point B after capping point A, and it was just like every hypersphere out of Lunar was just connecting. It's not just a Winston player here, Spec.
Yeah, multiple picks as we back up all the way around the corner. I've got to wait to be in a position to be stable before we swing. The Zarya is going to be annoying. The trick is literally just playing distance. If she has to wide swing, then that happens. Bubbles popped, she has a terrible day. If she's allowed to full beam, it can be a threat. This time though, Sleek dead. Depsy doing essentially air. You should be pretty stable now if you're Hypnos.
I like the Lunar tried to, I don't know if Lunar baited the last bubble or just saw the last bubble and just ditched the rock into the ground. I just like that move. I like to think it was a bait. Like you go to throw a rock and bait out bubble and just ditch the rock and then throw the attack onto this area. Anyway, we're coming up on, might be able to get an orbital in this fight. That's a wide swing from this Genji. Vista trying to open up Statue's side. Rox and Tricky aren't really dissuaded. They did not pull back into corner. They just took the duel. Tricky wins it out. Puts Sleek in their place. And now sliding aggressively here. Finish off some more kills for this defense.
I was pretty questionable from Dempsey. Again, it's playing the Zarya like you're playing Sigma. It's never going to work out. You take these wide angles. Horrocks, with the additional help he's got, the rest of his team too are able to outvalue here. They try and ray in. Not a bad idea, especially if Luna can't flux himself away.
Just put the hands up thinking that there might be a grab, but all it took was Dempsey. Even a very low charge, Dempsey just is able to melt through with a little damage boost from the orbital. Wasn't quite as fast a cap as we saw from Hypnos, but still very swift point A here for TFW.
Kind of the weakness of the Sigma versus the Zarya, especially with this comp. If you get grabbed, that sucks. You have to lose the fight. Here, though, you're apparently right back to winning ways as Sleek falls over.
Envy with a Ant Matrix from that kind of top position. I think a bit of an unexpected Ant Matrix. Untu clearly did not see it coming.
So what do you do now? There's a Graviton Surge. Again, it's going to be an issue for you. You need to find a way to make sure it grabs one person, or maybe even nobody. Dempsey going down so much easier now you've reset that Zard charge, right? But you're probably looking to just try and catch the mid-rotate once or twice with one of these ults. NRG's will probably have to be saved, held in reserve as a defensive tool. But with your Sun, your Flux, your OC, you're looking to hit them right now.
Oh, they melt the bubble. Yeah, they just melt through Dempsey. Beautiful aggressive play out of Lunar. Defense goes first. It works out. You called it, and Lunar and Hypnos knew that as well. They execute it to a T.
They're probably going to look to do something very similar with one of their other ultimates now. They know that taking these super fast, super clean fights doesn't help you build into basically any ult at all. That being said, Tricky setting up some very passive OC lines, looking to shoot them as they walk in a bit deeper.
The Ant Matrix up, pushing into that overclock. Tricky is on that back high ground. We're going to leave it here on TFW's pop. See if they can push through. They cannot. Sleek goes down. Still TFW has no choice but to try to push forward. Pistol with the blade, trying to dodge around a Captive Sun, but Pixels gets the brunt of the sunspot. Blinded and dead. Lunar low, but it's not going to matter. Defense will still hold as Envy comes up with a pair to close out the fight.
That was, again, a really nice idea. You get the blade out and the window to boot, which is, again, efficient. The problem is you're not fresh broke now, but you're getting close. You managed to charge up to your window during all this time, but you've used most of your big tools. The OC, this orbital ray, the grab, all coming close to online for the aggressors now, and you can't hit them just the same way. So really worried about what Hypnos can bring to the table now.
I mean, you talk about this grab. I mean, hasn't this grab been online for 2.5 minutes? I think Dempsey's been holding this grab since point A. Will finally toss it in here up along the wall. Photon barrier to try to protect Lunar. Might just have worked, but they dropped down into a bad spot. Without the tank, what does Envy the rest of this team choose to do? Envy, well, there's going to be a die on cart call.
I guess this one, actually, which is actually pretty valuable,
too,
especially it being pixels, means that it'll be a little while before the refight can come through. They can't push nearly as aggressively, knowing they only have 1, 2 for the heals. And with the respawn, you might be able to catch Dempsey off as he's maybe going a little bit too big for his boots, so we'll just take the charge and get out.
Let's see, Pixels just now making it back to the fight. Just as the teleport comes out from Hypnos over towards Ted's side. Orbital Ray thrown over the objective, and NRG catches a railgun from Sleek. That starts the dominoes of falling. That'll be the cap. Just over 2:30 on the clock here for TFW to match this time bank from Hypnos.
Stay efficient rotating of these win cons. Dempsey already at 50% to another Graviton Surge. Not going to be too much of a problem in this fight, very likely, especially with his energy falling kind of below the 40 mark. But it's something to think about when we're looking at maybe completing the map, right? Because a Graviton Surge could well spell the end of a defense for Hypnos, bring us to extra innings.
I totally forgot to give y'all Preds for this map. I didn't even close up Preds for map 2.
Envy!
Oh, terrible. Terrible. Terrible from me and from Envy on this one.
We are trading. Obviously, that's Sleek going down first. Dempsey looking for targets more than anything else, but the crossfire the Hypnos set up appears to be more important than just having supports alive, and so energy especially continues to find value. Luna drops down to 30 points of HP, now 0. Energy doesn't have an escape teleporter, so he just has to run forward, beam outstretched to take care of Vista. But they are trading out. They do have closer spawns, and they have been able somehow to stop the cart.
Yeah, once they get the kill out of Dempsey, like there's just not enough puncher power to get through. And you still had, Lunar and RG were here. Now the Flux will once again burn through Dempsey's bubbles. Good job from Hypnos. They melt through the whatever Dempsey could. Both bubbles go down. Dempsey ends up taking the brunt of the slam.
I mean, just evaporates it. Each of those bubbles of, 250 HP, and they're gone.
Both of them.
Not even in a second. Yeah. 4 ultimates still online here for Hypnos, but again, they have to go first. They cannot let themselves get grabbed.
We grab and blade available. Grab thrown in right around the corner. The blade is pulled out immediately. Immortality field to pick it up, and Horrocks try to slingshot with the captain's son. Lunar is down. Sleek picks up the kills. It's 3 for 3 left on the point, and you do still have a trio of ultimates available for the Hypnos defense.
You got closer spawns as well, and you know for a fact that your opponents are forced to play the cart. Multiple advantages for Hypnos. All they have to do is convert. It looks like a window for the OC. This could spell the end of TFW, at least on this map, if there's no counter for the Sojourn.
Only hope here is this is going to be the most enormous orbital ray you've ever seen and survive through all of this. There's the photon barrier. It's going to be the ghost side. Ant Matrix from the high ground, and Tricky still holding on to that overclock. Horrocks played out of the window as Tricky is going to hit the ultimate. That is all 3 invested from this defense. They have been able to get Sleek as the orbital ray comes in from the attackers. Dempsey pushed through with the beam from space. Going to try to melt through Lunar, but the immortality field is good. The hands are up. Lunar gets enough shielding. Lunar's still alive. Punches Dempsey back into spawn. Punches Hypnos up into a point on the board. They'll get rid of the goose egg with a hold here on circuit.
Okay, stressful at times, but Hypnos are able to.
Whoa there, Horrocks.
Oh, say what you want about him, he's a funny guy, but no, Hypnos able to get their map win. They won't be going outside here. 2-1. The reverse sweep is started, but it's onto the map pick first ban of TFW to see where we go next, and I don't think they're going to allow a Sigma no matter which map we've got next up on the plate.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, no Sigmir. I don't. If Lunar was going into the halftime with most damage in the server. I definitely came out with it. No doubts. 0 doubts in my mind.
Oh, for sure. This is ridiculous work being put in from the Sigma. Had a little bit of a rougher defending half just because the Zarya is annoying as hell. He made it work. That's, I think, the only thing that matters at the end of the day. Was able to live long enough so that his teammates can find value in finding a decent chunk of his own. So all G, all good in the Hypnos hood. Runasapi up next. Soj banned out, Tricky forced on to most likely Cassidy. You fully expect them to be playing Venture.
Didn't we get the Venture ban already? I think we had the Venture ban already.
We might have, actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think we got the Venture ban in Suravasa. Yeah, oh, yeah, let's go with some stats. Wait, some stats?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lunar.
Dempsey hit 18,000.
I was going to say, Lunar actually did not lead the server. And let's talk about this ban. What did Hypnos decide to ban?
Juno. They decided that the orbital ray was too much of a problem, having the ult cycle was too much of an issue, and so even though it wasn't what we were previously seeing from Unto and Pixels, then it's something that we just don't want to play into. I think it kind of shows, A, that they really don't want to take just like heavy ult fights. It's really not what they're great at, just exchanging big macro tools. And B, maybe they're beginning to run out of strong bans. You know, we're 3 bans deep from each side, and we're already banning things we're not consistently seeing. Interesting, to say the least, but it's by no means going to be too huge of an issue. Again, now you're playing into the Zarya with just the Kitsune Rush. You can mirror that with one of your own. It's not too bad. Tricky on the Cassidy, I think, will actually be able to find more value on this than the Sojourn, as long as he's not run over. If Tricky lives, I think it might just be a Hypnos win. If he dies, Vista and Sleek are going to be all over it.
Here we go. There's your key to success. Keep Tricky alive. Obviously, Lunar and the Ramacher will have a ton of sustain. Tricky has more sustain than most shooters do in the hit scan roll. And it does pair nicely against Sleek. You can use the combat roll kind of in response to those take aim bolts. And it does work out well in that duel, in that match. A couple of shots land, Sleek has to fall back for some cover. Just open up some time. A little bit of positional advantage out of Hypnos. They have their back to that Mega, and they're going to go ahead and pursue that. They will take control of more of the map and force TFW down the street, and it can always be awkward. You can see Vista trying to push forward to see if they can reclaim that space, but Tricky is able to utilize these sight lines, and Hypnos find our first number of kills.
Fantastic work from Hypnos. Tricky, obviously the Cassidy is a pretty comfortable 1v1 into the Freya, and so just clips Sleek's wings, and when Vista tries to get uppity, I mean, it's a perfect slow from Luna there. Just make it so the balance doesn't send him nearly where he's expected to, the focus fire enough to take him down. First fight in favor of Hypnos, and I will say, with Tricky 88% all the way to a Deadeye on this corner, it's going to find insane value.
That is nuts. Well, your hit scan leading the server in ult charge is not normal. That's not normal. All right, where we're going? We're going towards Saw. Tricky does not take the teleport. In fact, I don't think anybody did. It was a bait teleport. Kitsune Rush right towards the opposite corner. Lunar Lobe is going to go ahead and push. The Deadeye is in play. Escorts Lunar around this corner. Alongside a block and finds Dempsey with the skull. Vista down as well. Sleek running away. Tail between their legs.
And there's more on the board for Tricky as well. Unsu goes down, and that's forward spawns capped already. This is lightning fast from Hypnos. Once they've got some wind in their sails, once they've got some momentum on their side, it feels like they are revitalized back to 110%, and TFW finding that out the hard way.
Tricky at half health, but Vista can't. Ooh, has to recognize the Lunar, has to respect the Lunar there. What the? Oh, how do you die to a Sim turret? Unlucky, Unto, unlucky. Consider Rush has been invested, but it's just going to get you up to this corner. Lunar's able to just kind of hide around the corner, wait out the rush, and wait for a counter punch. We're going to have support ults and a photon barrier available shortly here for Hypnos.
We're waiting for the photon barrier first. Great in a situation like this, as long as Lunar's able to maintain his armor. What they do also realize, though, is that they don't actually have to go for active. They have the lead. They can afford to take a loss, but there's no reason to if they just hold the W key.
Sound barrier out of Hypnos and try to keep this going. Lunar just runs up to the ulting Vista with the Annihilation. Punches him down in a comprehensive 3 minutes out of Hypnos so far. Only 1 death here in Hypnos. Here for Hypnos and Runasapi.
I mean, we compare this to Suravasa to keep harking back to that map, and it's like we've got 2 different teams in the lobby. Hypnos, heavy spend in that previous fight. They've still got the Kitsu if they want to. see an opportunity for it. Luna has a pretty tough time of things, but there's a TP to get him out, so they'll stable him, and they can just swing the corner with one of the best ults in the game. Okay, he does get hooked. That is kind of deep.
That was second hook. Second hook. He didn't know about second hooks back.
Bit peak, but it happens. It happens. You know, you can kind of afford to take your second fatality of the game at a time like this. I believe it's TFW who'll be able to get their first couple meters on the board in a second or so, and you'll be able to go about ult for ult with your opposition. The hook does mean you can be significantly less aggro with your Cassidy, so Tricky may well be finding slightly less value now, but with it out, they're just going to swing as if nothing's there.
Couple shots towards Sleek's direction, kind of pierced the ears of Sleek. Nothing actually made contact. Now focus onto the Roadhog, just take away that precious health bar. And this is just Hypnos inching forward, buying space 1 meter at a time. It's going to get them back to the middle of the map where they didn't get their backs against that Mega. Concerning rush thrown towards the bot. There's really nobody here. You do pick up some valuable space, and the Hog has to try to come respect and come to contest. Dempsey just leapt into everybody's sight lines.
Lovely work. Luna and Envy able to find that cleanup. And we are heading towards increasing the distance once more. Oh, we've had to pause. Okay, got the unpause. We'll see how it's going to have suited the FW. As we get right back into the action, Horrocks hopefully feeling okay now. But the bot, I mean, 100 meters and now climbing.
I can't imagine being nauseous and playing Lucio. Like, it's like a hero that would give you motion sickness more.
Honestly, like, I'm not taking a break from the action, but only Tracer is worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tracer would be the only other one that, yeah, that would have to be worse, would be Trey.
You feel like you're moving smoothly. With Tracer, it's so many jerks, it just makes you feel like you're inside a washing machine.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. It's just so jerky and so ship, 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 ship. That's my Tracer noise, by the way. Ship, ship.
That's exactly what she sounds like, as somebody with like 300 hours. Ultimates here. As the F words, only the Deadeye online here first for Hypnos, but they can play for an extended fight and get towards Annihilation, beat Wall. So that's, I'd be surprised if that's not exactly what they're going to do. Sleek is looking for a barrage though, sees one and dies.
Alright, yeah, you see Pixels tried to jump out there to get the Suzu in. Doesn't quite get it in time. The kill just too fast. And so we end up with, well, okay.
There's a 0 value Annihilation, but it's okay. They still use their whole hog. You can late kill Depsy, it works okay. Probably rather hold that checkmark through, but you've still got 4 ultimates, so it's a loss you can probably take. You know? Like, it's sad if you lose $50, but if Jeff Bezos loses $50, he's probably not shedding any tears over it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. It's all relative. It's all about your relatives. Sound barrier engaged. There's gonna be double support ults thrown in here from TFW. Try to see if you can claw back in this 33-106 Runasapi. 3 minutes remain. Vista didn't get anything. Burrows used all the cooldowns, gets nothing. It's a big disengage. Sound barrier and Photon were invested there from Hypnos as well.
Indeed. At the end of the day, you still got this Kitsu versus the Tectonic Shock. You definitely have an ult lead. And your positioning as well, so much more playable. When you've got that ram, it's so much easier to swing just a little bit wider to press your advantage. Hook miss, that might be your go button.
Sleek punish anybody that tries to swing too wide. I think it's looking for Tricky there. Vista, I think, got behind them with this Tectonic Shock. That was 3 little drill dashes underneath the burrow and still immediately dies the moment they emerge. Tricky has the Kitsune rush and runs forward with the Fox to back him up. Woo! Lands some nice shots there. And this is, once again, Hypnos in control.
Yeah, and playing this back and forth, perfectly fine for Hypnos, right? I mean, it's going to result in no, or, you know, at least negligible distance on the robot, which is going to maintain their win. Forward spawns unlocked for them once more. They have that in case they do lose this fight, but they've got pretty good tools for it. Tricky with the Deadeye could get involved with a Symmetra teleport as it just comes up cooldown now.
Surprised Tricky not trying to use the teleport for this.
He's just holding the space.
Yeah,
holding the lane.
Yeah. Pixels does have a Kitsune Rush coming up soon. If they can stay alive, not gonna happen. Needed to be on 2 feet for this fight. Things are gonna start looking very desperate here for TFW. Oh, what a vortex. Dempsey just got yanked down into the grips of Hypnos here. Was trying to push up to the cart. I mean, the map kind of flipped. Now Bob to hold. TFW might have actually stabilized. They've lost their tank in this. Oh, Unto Wit just pokes the bear. Oh, no.
The cart is still moving through all of this. Pixel's getting good damage, but at the end of the day, you have to take care of everybody permanent like, and it finally has been done. Luna's going to try and escape and should be able to manage so. But 114 meters to 36. Less than a minute left to go. It's going to have to be pretty much perfect ult cycling from TFW to have a chance to take this map. Else, it's going to be Hypnos forcing us to a map number 5.
Chat, y'all are getting ridiculous. You know this, right? You know Avril was memeing in his own theory. Y'all are getting way too ridiculous. You're waiting too much and you're reading way too much into Avril theory. Avril theory is pure meme. The Maga, not a meme actually here. As that extra damage output works out in this important fight with 15 seconds to go. TFW keeping things interesting here, Spec.
Yep, Kitsune Rush allows them the fight win. Obviously nothing spent from Hypnos, but both sides will kind of take this. Hypnos realize they've got about 2, maybe 3 fights if they're lucky to defend against, but they also know that they kind of have ult lead here, so they're looking to find value from the wall, maybe try and retake higher ground, but if it's just dropped off by everybody, chill, look how low depth is already.
Sunbury comes in early in the fight. Sunbury actually works out. That's 7 ultimates thrown in. Fista versus the Deadeye, but can't really poke out to use it. You've got a photon barrier blocking it. You got a Deadeye holding the lane. There's just not enough resources in the world. Fista will get stuck behind enemy lines. Hypnos looking to clean this up. You still got Dempsey to work through. Pixels is able to trade 1. That is looked to be all they're gonna get. Hypnos force the map 5. 1 final map to see who ends up in playoffs.
Not quite sure I expected that after seeing the opening of this series, but Hypnos have done fantastically, and heading towards our final map now. Tricky being fully activated, them having more of an idea about how they want to play this Ramatra. I've got to say, TFW, you've got to be sweating, right? You've let 2 maps fall through your fingers already. FACEIT operates on a rolling schedule. That means these maps come fast. You don't have time to reset. You don't have time to have a proper discussion, right? You had your pause, and look where that got you. I gotta say, if I was a betting man, the odds may be starting to lean a little bit more towards Hypnos now.
Edgar in chat, would you rather deal damage with Vitriol or Burrow Dash 7 times?
I get it, bro.
Hey, Fista definitely chose the latter in that one particular team fight. So literally any map to choose from, TFW go New Junk City and ban out the Cassidy. They already banned out the Sojourn, and they're like, okay, we gotta focus Tricky. We gotta ban out that Soj. We can't have another one. Wait a minute. Tricky just pulled out the Cassidy. That worked too well. We gotta ban out the Cassidy. We can't have none of that. No, Spec, we can't have none of that. Tricky ends up 21 and 4, 10k damage. Only 90 damage behind Lunar on Runasapi. But, between the two of them, they were, 21 and 4, 22 and 4. They kind of took over here, Spec. Like, both of those two kind of took over.
I haven't tried enough other bacon, so I can't chat too much, but Horrocks clearly isn't very happy about it.
How could any bacon be ass? I think all bacon's good.
Maybe it's like once you've had, the top, everything else tastes bad, I don't know. Comp's basically the same as what we've seeing before, with one large difference. Sleek's on the Reaper this time, so double flex finally being pulled out from the F word. Tricky's still going to be on that Sojourn, so playing any sort of extended fight is going to work out for Hypnos. But they're going for the long wrap all the way around.
I was like, where the hell is Hypnos? We're missing a team. Ooh, that was a very, very quick engage. As Sleek Shadow stepped in, got the bubble. Now, I see you're gonna have Sleek and Fista kind of cycling in on who gets bubble, and you can see as soon as one is out, the other goes back in. This kind of constant pressure works out as Pixels and now Fista are able to find kills through that.
This is going to be an annoying one to play into here. You kind of have two options. One of them is going to be to force the tank trade as hard as possible. Basically just like run at Depsy while Sleek and Fizz are setting up angles. I kind of remembered it because Motoneva was playing Baldur's Gate on stream. And he had like I forget what's the blue elf thing.
Right.
Tiefling or something. I was like, oh, it looks like the guy. Here we are. Obviously, 10% on the board here for the F word. Ult's far away. Depsy losing energy quickly, but still going to be a threat. No changes so far for either side. They both think they've got what it takes to find the W on these comps, but only one of them is right.
And once again, we're going to get a low ground wide approach out of Hypnos. Trying to force Sleek out first. Sleek is the one who gets the bubble, but Lunar has that Nemesis forced. As Vista popped up, put a good shot in, good combo in. Teleporter looks just to be short range. Got to protect this backline from the divers for now. Hypnos know the assignment. You got to survive the 1-2 punch of Sleek and Fista before they can even think about striking back. Tricky might be the one to do that. See if they can light up a shot here. That one will not land. And Hypnos continuing to try to search for this kill. Oh, here comes the second round of attacks. But a good counter punch is Envy now with the Kitsune Rush available. They're trying to chase down Sleek. Looks like Sleek's able to get away. Pixels does have the response of the Kitsune Rush of their own. As the fight gets a little bit messy here on the point. Lunar ends up in the middle of all of it. Sleek makes her way up to the top and into the back line to pick up Envy. Will not get the Shadow Step out, but job's done. Fista will close it out. It's going to be a 1-0 to start New Chunk City here in favor of TFW.
And if I were to change any one thing, I might move Tricky, or Energy rather, maybe off that Symmetra onto something else. I'm not sure you're finding that much value right now. It feels bad frontlining because you get off-angled. Feels bad angle fighting because you're 1v1ing like a Reaper close range as a sim, right? I'm not sure it's the pick here, so I kind of want to see the wall out and then maybe try and mirror the Venture or the Reaper either, which I think would work a lot better for this comp.
Watch for the Death Blossom, yeah. Got Bubble, got Suzu. But once inside, that's all done. You're just a sit and duck for the tricky OC. That Bubble was late. Vista actually took damage from that railgun shot, but no, okay, we're gonna get a couple of drill dashes on this one. Not nearly as extravagant. The excavation eventually shut down sound barrier, and Suzu used to protect against the grab. Now the counter sound barrier as Lunar and company are free. Photon barrier back into this fight, but Sleek has returned. We're back into a 4v4. Good boob to the other side of the wall. Pressure will force a swift step out and onto. Ends up the one remaining when all the cooldowns are used.
Indeed. Should surely be a cap here for Hypnos as they able to get a first fight win on this map. Exit frags here would be pristine, and that's exactly what they're pushing for. Fista has to be careful with that burrow. Surely can escape. Largely unscathed at the very least, but that space bought some ults charged towards. And now with the Kitsune Rush defensively, with the Ramacha in it as well, then I would imagine there's going to be a second fight win as well for Hypnos.
You do have Pixels able to respond, and you know, Zarya's are pretty good in their own right in a Kitsune Rush. Bubble on the Sleek. Sleek trying to find Horrocks. Boop away, and Tricky locates Fisto through the middle with that rush. 5v4 favoring Hypnos at the moment as Lunar pops the Nemesis form. Will run Depsy off the objective. Nice little split. They've got Sleek in a bad spot. Okay, Sleek has the cooldowns to get out, but you nailed it. It's another fight win, costing just the Kitsune Rushes. We're going to get a quick re-engage here from TFW, though.
I actually think it should be Hypnos the one pushing because of that. Sleek insta-dead, 90%. TFW can't touch.
The Venture Fisto will at least initiate the overtime, but there's nobody else left. Oh, you even get a Suzu out on the way out.
Okay, heading next, I believe, towards Refinery. Could be a pretty easy one, relatively speaking, for Hypnos to play. Easier sightlines for them generally, but if they find themselves kettled inside of the side room, they'll be in a rough spot. They need to win this fight mid-rotate.
Ooh, Sleek was lucky to get out of that one alive. No way Sleek lives.
I really should have died. I mean, Hypnos is such a good start to that fight, but I think they just went a little bit too deep. They delved, and because of that, heavily punished. That being said, don't spend anything. should really think about, again, enabling Tricky here. Got some sidelines to do work. Sleek and Fizz, they don't have many ways they can set up. Decent spot for Hypnos. They can't, however, spend too much time dilly-dallying because these flashpoints still go by fast.
Yeah, especially if they want to give themselves another fight. This one doesn't go well. An aggressive teleport slide into the backline. Grab thrown right on top of it. Finds everybody. Sound barrier invested in. I actually like the play. Okay, so Hypnos lose that fight, but they go fast and they get out a very important ultimate. In fact, a pair of them here, Spec.
Yeah, I don't hate it. We'll say, though, they do need to make sure somebody can get overtime started, and you don't have a Tracer, you don't have a Sombra, Genji, anyone who can do it really easily. So they have to have a plan to get towards the point in a safe and efficient manner, while also playing at the slower pace their comp likes, I think.
Sleek was trying to bait something out, not able to do so. The Hypnos has to know that that Death Blossom is a threat. Sleek sneaking up through the hallway, drops in the ultimate. It is bubbled. The Suzu defensively used. Great sound barrier in response. It was Lunar who got the overtime going, but Lunar now found themselves pushed off and into a 1v3. The Kitsune Rush in from TFW largely devalued, though. Photon barrier on the point, and I don't see anything but red jerseys. The Horrocks has found a kill and made this a 4v4. Vista is able to find one, and Horrocks gets another. Lunar just is not here, so there's no tank available. It's going to be end up being a TFW win because of that. They'll take the 2-1 lead. Oh, they're hoping for a duck spawn. They'll get it.
Yeah, it's easy walk into the next one. They'll be able to jam the choke. Remember, at those short ranges, the Reaper and Venture are absolutely killer. The DPS you can deal out, insane energy. Finally decides the Sims, no bueno. Torbjorn, a hell of a lot easier, a little bit more survival. You can live a little bit longer. Obviously, with that overload, you can fight the angles a bit more easily with the shotgun, with the turret. I think this is a better pick. Is it enough?
No ultimates really for either team. Depsy the closest with the grab, not too far behind. Good headshot. There's the overload. It's not enough. Depsy is there. You're taking too much damage. You get too aggressive if you're at RG. First fight goes cleanly here in TFW's favor. No casualties. They grab first cap.
Yeah, super clean. And they're able to get a significant lead on that Graviton Surge without it really being healed up. And so, though Envy's got decent ult with the Kitsune Rush, if Hypnos get grabbed, what do? They just kind of lose. And they're going to have to do it incredibly quickly if they want to have a chance to recontest. They have to throw themselves essentially into Depsy, put all the pressure onto the Zarya, so they have to ult.
That's the grab. It's going to catch 3. Suzu is in. No, there's just no surviving it.
Yep, hard reset. Hard reset. You can't
It's going to be close.
At all.
60%. Keep an eye on when people spawn on the top left.
Also, wait to see if energy maybe moves over to the Tracer. Symmetra will allow people out fast, and Luna onto the ball. They know they have to sprint for it. Energy will be on the Tracer. Everything, every egg into this basket of the Envy Kitsune Rush. It has to be gigantic.
I mean, the entire season rests on this team fight. Here, if you're Hypnos, you have to win this, or playoffs are out of the question. Kitsune Rush tossed in right at the entrance. Does make it down to the point. The point! The point!
Oh God, man! It was so close, and we see 9. I mean,
that is not how this was supposed to end.
Oh man!
That is not how this was supposed to end.
Oh man!
And the greatest match of the season ended with not a bang, but a whimper. And me screaming into my microphone.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, it was a really broken fight. I mean, you had a Kitsune Rush to work with, but that was it. That got used. It was gonna be really hard for Hypnos to do anything into that fight. Let's be real. But you give yourself a chance. You swap to the Tracer. You swap to the Wrecking Ball for that very reason. I did not see We looked to see if the rush was going to make it into the objective because I thought that would have been instrumental for that fight for Hypnos. I didn't see what happened to NRG. I don't know if the recall got forced, if something happened to keep them from cycling in for the touch. I have to imagine, because we saw Luna roll through and initiate the overtime, you would have to think that you're expecting NRG would be there to get the second touch, and something must have happened. It's the only thing that I can fathom on that. Wow.
Okay. Well, fantastic series anyhow. Great renaissance for Hypnos. Unfortunately, just doesn't work out in the end. TFW will be going to FACEIT League Master Division playoffs after all the controversy, after having to fight their way through a gauntlet of teams. Hard to argue they didn't deserve it, but I mean, if you're Hypnos, you've got to be more than heartbroken.
Depsy 27-0. They're on New Junk City. If there's any thought that the team didn't deserve it or anything, Depsy 27-0 at 10k damage. No one else was even remotely close in damage. Tricky was the closest at 7,500.
Yeah.
Oof! I don't even know what to say to that. Congratulations to TFW. Like, what else can you say? Well, I think Depsy's player of the match. You got any arguments against that? I mean, Sleek showed up early.
Has moments.
Yeah.
Like 27-0 is very hard to argue against.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Depsy player of the match. Congratulations to TFW.